Hello. All right. Boy, we are off to such a late start. Sorry, everyone. Good evening, everyone. There's so many things that's going wrong tonight, but what I've decided to do is to do something a little bit different for this evening. And I'm going to try to open up the chat to allow persons who have any questions or any comments or anything that they'd like for me to discuss. And we'll spend a little time just discussing some of these items. So I think it's probably best that we do it that way for the little time that we have left to make it as meaningful as possible. So let me just make a comment in the chat. All right. So who will begin? And yeah, sorry about that. I forgot the music was on. So like I said, we're gonna do a series of Q&As probably just for a little while and see who has any questions that they'd like to ask. And we'll just spend a little time discussing possible answers together. And hopefully it is a meaningful time shared despite the lateness. Wow, let me see. Okay, I think we're back up. Wow. Yeah, I think we're okay now. All right, so I'm not sure. Dennis is asking if niacin deficiency can cause schizophrenia. I am not certain. I'm not certain. But one would think that if schizophrenia is caused by chemical imbalances, as we are told, and it's as simple as just saying a vitamin B deficiency, that it's possible to easily treat schizophrenia with just supplements of niacin, I would think. if that were true. So that would be an easy thing for you to test with your professor. I'm sure that there are 2 or 3 people in your class that has schizophrenia or have been diagnosed with schizophrenia or bipolar disorder or whatever other disorders, or at least are aware of persons who have the diagnosis. And then ask the professor how much niacin would be required to reverse the symptoms of schizophrenia. And then tell them that you're going to try it with your family member or your friend or the classmate and see if it resolves their issue. If it does resolve their issue, then I guess one can say that niacin deficiency does cause schizophrenia. But if it doesn't resolve the issue, then you can't simply say that it is not caused by schizophrenia, because if something causes an issue, that doesn't mean that's the only thing that can cause it. But at least if it does help, we know that it is a potential cause. Also, it'll be easy to test too, because I'm sure there'll be papers that one can gain access to that can demonstrate if there is such a relationship. So what you do is you go to PubMed and you do a Google search, or you do a PubMed search, or even right now with the advent of ChatGPT or other AI services, just ask them, is schizophrenia, is niacin deficiency a cause of schizophrenia? And you can narrow the search by asking it according to researched articles or peer-reviewed research articles in PubMed. Is niacin deficiency a potential cause of schizophrenia? And that should give you the answer you're looking for. Alright, so greeting. Can soaking your feet in warm water with hydrogen peroxide help with inflammation and pain? You know, I heard that online as well. I'm not sure. But you see, the good thing about things like these is that those are easy things to test. So what I'm going to ask that you do, Sophia, is this. Get some hydrogen peroxide, preferably one of those bigger bottles, and soak your feet in it. And let us know when we come back next month, if it actually did relieve the symptoms. Because it doesn't make sense we speculate over something as simple as that, because it's not likely to cause a negative effect. It's not likely to cause harm. And since it's not likely to cause harm and it's an easy thing to test, why not test it? So if you have a pain condition, whether it is arthritis or RA or lupus or whatever other issue there is that's inflammatory in nature, gout, whatever it is, put the hydrogen peroxide in some water. I would say probably using the 6% hydrogen peroxide and putting equal amounts of water. That will give us a 3% solution of hydrogen peroxide. And just soak your foot in it and try it. I mean, it wouldn't be my first guess to try that, because I don't know of hydrogen peroxide being transdermal, meaning that it goes across the skin. But it's worth trying. And you can let us know. Any other questions that anyone has? Let's just go through these questions one by one. And of course, if I don't know the answer to something, if I don't have a good solution, then I'll let you know. Epsom salt is very good for circulatory issues, because Epsom salt contains magnesium. And one of the good things about magnesium is that magnesium itself is transdermal. And when I say transdermal, you know, like dermatology, meaning skin doctor, or the study of conditions of the skin. Well, transdermal means trans is across, dermal, skin. So a transdermal item, or an item that has transdermal properties, is an item that can cross the barrier of the skin into your bloodstream. Magnesium is one such element that is considered to be transdermal. And magnesium is one of the minerals that's heavily found in Epsom salts. And so you can try using Epsom salts in the water, and that should actually, I mean, it's it's reasonably documented to improve circulation and reduce pain. So yeah, I would say it's worth trying. I would say it's worth trying. And what you can do as well, Sophia, is this. Do one attempt where one evening you do Epsom salts, well, you do hydrogen peroxide in the water first. And like I said, if you're using a 6% solution of hydrogen peroxide, um, that will give you a higher concentration, so you can put a little bit more water in it, just enough to cover your feet and put your feet in it. So you do one evening with hydrogen peroxide, and then try the other evening with Epsom salt, and then try a third evening with a combination of Epsom salts and hydrogen peroxide, and document how you feel the next morning. I would recommend that you try it with at least a day off in between. So Monday night, you can try the the hydrogen peroxide on Monday night. On Wednesday night, you will try the Epsom salts, and on Friday night, you will try the Epsom salts combined with the hydrogen peroxide, and see how you feel the next day. So if you try it Monday for one, see how you feel Tuesday morning when you wake up. If you try Wednesday for one, see how you feel Thursday morning when you wake up. And if you try Friday for one, see how you feel Saturday morning when you wake up. And let us know the effects of it. Sarah Mackenzie, good evening. Big up yourself. Other thoughts, anyone? I mean, it's not every day we have this opportunity to just ask random health questions, so might as well make the most of it. And the good thing is, when we share questions together, um, we're basically combining our expertise. So I might not know all the answers, but we can discuss it, and we can share with each other what we feel about something. And if you heard something, we can always try it and see how it goes. So Jeanju 7899, I'm not sure if that's pronounced correctly. That keeps having recurrent right pleural effusion. Now, pleural effusion is fluid that is leaking out into the area of the lung, the right lung in this case. Now, here's what's interesting. In order for you to address an issue like pleural effusion, you need a substance that can pull water. So one of the ways that we can pull water is by using something like DMSO. I don't know if you know much about DMSO. But DMSO is dimethyl sulfoxide, and dimethyl sulfoxide is also another substance that has transdermal effects, and it's actually one of the most amazing transdermal properties um, known to man. At least that's of a beneficial nature. There are other things that are very toxic that are also transdermal, but this is transdermal and it's very helpful. Now, DMSO, because it's transdermal, you can just simply rub it onto an area to get the effect that you want. And DMSO pulls water to itself very aggressively. And so if you have water buildup or fluid buildup in an area, all you have to do is just rub on DMSO over the surface, and you can it can pull the water from the area. So if you have recurrent pleural effusion, I would bet that just simply rubbing on DMSO over your chest, in the areas of your lungs, wherever you feel the fluid is accumulating, and usually if you're standing or sitting upright, fluid usually accumulates in the lower parts of the lungs, although it can accumulate in different areas. But simply rub on the DMSO onto the area, just enough to wet the surface. Make sure that your hands are clean, that the surface of your body is clean, and that you don't have on any clothing that can have dyes in it, so that you can just rub it onto the area. And do that daily for about a week, once a day for about a week, and let us know if your pleural effusion symptoms actually resolve. I would imagine DMSO would do the trick. And DMSO is one of those substances that I would consider it a miracle agent that everybody needs to have in their medicine chest. Everybody. Where can you get DMSO? Where are you now? Janju. I wish I knew how to pronounce your name. But where are you now? Where are you located? Spanish Town? Well, we sell DMSO at our office, but you can also buy it online. Because it's so important, I've made sure that I have some that I stock here at the office. It's for persons who may need it. There are different people that are on different protocols that involve DMSO for different things. That is actually Sansusi. Okay, thank you. Sansusi. 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 Okay, great. Um, yes, I have enough at the office for persons who may want. Not enough. It depends on how many people want. I have to, dilute enough for people to have access to it. But yeah, you can give us a call at the office and let them know that you are interested in getting a bottle of the DMSO. And I'll make sure that a bottle is here for you. The bottle is, I remember exactly the cost of it. I think it's like 5,000 something or 4,000 something for a 4-ounce bottle of the DMSO. So something around there. It's not a whole lot of money. All right, you betcha. Best essential oil for pain. All right, so I like essential oils. Essential oils are cool. But if you're gonna do something for pain that is topical, you can get DMSO, use DMSO as well. What I'm gonna do, I'm gonna try to drop a link in the chat for those who might want to purchase some online. I'm gonna just drop a link. I'm gonna drop a link in the chat here. Let's see here. Let me see if what I'm looking at here is the right concentration. All right, just bear with me here. I'm looking up some stuff on Amazon here that I can just drop in the chat, so those who may want to purchase online, they can just purchase online. All right, here we go. Yeah, so I'm gonna send you a link. Let's see, how do I share this link? I'm gonna try to share it. All right, so here's a link I'm gonna share. Oh, it's too long. Yeah, so you can try those and see if it helps. Um, Another thing you could probably, let me see if I can do it a different way too. And that's by just dropping the name. So Christina is asking a question. Does DMSO work for arthritis pain? And I would say that DMSO is one of the best things that I have found to not only help to ease the pain of arthritis, but to reverse some of its effects as well. So let's see how that goes. Next question. Let me see if I missed anything. Yeah, no, you bet. I mean, arthritis pain. I mean, if I tell you stories about DMSO, boy, it's one of the best things I've found for tooth pain, toothaches. It's great for headaches, and it works very quickly. It's great for menstrual pain. It's great for food poisoning. It's amazing. It's great for um, most toxic burdens. So if you have a toxic overload, you can take some DMSO to eliminate the toxin. It's very good. Very, very good. Next one, come on, guys. I'm gonna keep this open probably for just another few minutes here. And I hope this has been a little helpful too for persons. I mean, yes, anybody else has any other health questions? Make the most of this time, guys. Gonna be another month before I'm on again. And of course, the next time that I'm on, we're really just going to be focusing on our patient health workshop material. So, yeah. What's Sansusi? The DMSO, I think, will work very well for the pleural effusion issue that you're having. I think it will. So you're going to have to now, after you've tried it, you're going to have to let us know. And by the way, if you have a lot of fluid retention somewhere, you put the DMSO on it, just be prepared that the first couple of nights you have it on, you're going to be going to the bathroom to urinate quite often. Blurry vision. Can you use it on your eyes for blurry vision? To use DMSO, so DMSO has multiple uses. Depending on what you want to use it for will determine what concentration you use. Now, to use it topically on the skin, it has to be at a concentration of 70%. And that's why for the aloe vera mixture, it is at 70% DMSO combined with 30% aloe vera. The aloe vera, in effect, dilutes the DMSO to the appropriate 70% concentration for topical use. But if you want to use the DMSO in your eyes, how I normally do it is I will use it at about anywhere from 20 to 40% DMSO. And I would combine it with sterile saline instead of diluting it with water. And if I dilute it with water, it's always going to be distilled water. You can dilute it with sterile saline solution so that you'll use about 60% sterile saline to 40% DMSO. And if you're not sure what that is, just use it in ratios of 10. So you can use 6 ounces or 6 mLs or 6, whatever the unit is. Just use a ratio of 6 of the saline to 4 of the DMSO, and that will give you 40% that can be utilized for ophthalmic applications, can be used in your eyes. And when I use DMSO in my eyes, and all of these things are things that I use myself, right? And when I use DMSO in my eyes, it will sting and burn for a short while. Not at a degree where you're going to be crying, but it does sting and burn. But then it calms down after about 30 seconds or so. And I combine mine, especially for visual acuity, I combine mine with sun gazing. So I will use the DMSO the night before at a ratio of 40% DMSO solution. The next morning I will do sun gazing for about 5 to 10 minutes. And then after about 2 to 3 days having done that, my vision is going to be much, much sharper, and my ability to read fine print becomes much better. So these are things that I've noticed personally. And yes, it is a miracle potion. It can be used for a wide variety of things, a wide variety of things. There are a couple items that I think everybody needs to have access to. And as far as miracles are concerned, these items have been used widely in the alternative arena, not the medicine arena, the alternative arena to treat anything from simple pain conditions to even inflammation, strokes, and cancers. So it's a very powerful thing to be used in many ways. So the question Jaluk6574 is asking is this: what is the difference between spinal stenosis and spinal spondylosis? Now, whenever you hear osis, you're thinking a condition, a health condition, right? A disease process. But in the case of the word spondy usually means spine, relating to the spine. So spondylosis is any condition of the spine, generally speaking. But as far as spondylosis is concerned, even though it can be applied to any condition of the spine, it is primarily applied to arthritic conditions of the spine. So instead of saying somebody has arthritis in their spine, they will say the person has spondylosis. Spondy meaning spine, osis condition of generally applied to arthritis or degeneration of their spine. They usually refer to it as spondylosis. So that's the first thing. Stenosis is a narrowing. Stenosis is a narrowing. And so when you have spinal stenosis, it usually refers to an area of the spine that is supposed to be patent or open that is narrowed or constricted. And this narrowing is usually consequential because these openings allow things to pass through. So in the case of a nerve, if you have your foramina, your IVF, intervertebral foramina, that's the plural of foramen, which is where the nerves exit the spine, then stenosis of that area can cause compression of the nerve that travels through it. Or in the case of the spinal canal, it will be called canal stenosis. And the spinal canal is where the spinal cord runs. And I'm going to go for a model and show you here in a second. And where the spinal cord runs, if you have stenosis there, it can compress the spinal cord. And you can end up with symptoms of cord compression. Now I'm going to run and go get my model of the spine to show you. Just give me a second. So this is our model. So this is our model of the spine. This is the opening where the nerve exits. So you see the opening here, and this is the nerve that comes out through that opening. This is a disc, and on this side of the disc we have a bulge. I don't know if you can see that bulge here. That bulge is where is happening right beside the nerve. This is the nerve. So this is the nerve. And then the bulge that's happening here is causing a narrowing of the opening where the nerve is coming through, causing compression of the nerve. So this is what's happening here. So you can see it. So this is foraminal stenosis, narrowing of the opening here where the nerve comes out. And then if you look here through the top or through the bottom, this is the spinal cord where the spinal cord runs. This space is called the spinal canal. And so this is canal stenosis. And canal stenosis or foraminal stenosis are both examples of spondylosis. Remember, spondylosis is any condition of the spine. Generally, it refers to arthritic conditions of the spine. And so spondylosis can refer to stenosis of the foramina or stenosis of the canal. Or there's yet another term called spondylolisthesis, and that's where the spine actually shifts one relative to the other, and that causes what's called a listhesis, where the one bone is shifted on top of the other bone, and then that will impair the function and possibly crimping off the nerves that exit between them. So that's what that is about. All right, so hopefully that helps Jaluk. Any other questions, anyone? So it's almost time to close off the chat. I think we've spent good time here together, and I appreciate the fact that we've been able to spend this time together. Because we were off to a very late start. I didn't want to have to try to force people to sit down, sit through a class again, at that time. What should I recommend for chronic constipation? It really depends on what the cause of the constipation is. If the constipation is caused by low fiber content in the diet, then the best thing to do is to restore the fiber content. If it's caused by poor nutritional, well, not nutrition, but poor hydration, then you need to be properly hydrated. Sometimes it's caused by a spinal issue that affects the muscles that control the colon to allow the wave-like contractions within the colon to occur to expel things out. Sometimes those nerves are impacted and are not able to function how they're supposed to function. So there you are. As with everything, though, Dolores Smith 1003, as with everything, you have to actually try to marry the cause of an issue to the solution. So you can't simply say you have a particular condition and what's the solution for it, because most conditions can be caused by more than one thing. So if I have a headache, for example, that's caused by a blood flow problem, I not have enough blood flow to my brain, then the solution is to restore blood flow to the brain. The solution is not to take painkillers to block the headache sensation. You understand? Hopefully. All right, I think that's a good stopping point. We're approaching 7:30 here. Um, any final closing questions that anyone has? I'm just trying to watch here. See if anybody's going to chime in. Okay, looks like that's it. I don't see anybody else chiming in. So that's a wrap, folks. The topics of discussion today do not fall into the category of discounts that would have been applied for the patient health workshop because we didn't get to go through the material that we wanted to go through. But at least as it is now, hopefully some answers were given that could be of benefit to you. So we wish you all the best with everything and stay healthy. Good night, everyone.